Welcome to day one. I'm very glad that you made it. Now, when we are looking at spiritual growth, the very first question that you need to ask yourself is, what is the true meaning of spiritual growth? What does it mean to grow spiritually? And I know that many people think that it's about how many hours you study the Bible, how many hours you pray, how many sins you're overcoming. And sincerely, all those thoughts are really okay. It's really nice. That's what we are trained in. But I'm here to give you a shocker and a surprise in a good way. Because you see, you cannot keep doing the same thing and expect the different results. So right now, we cannot keep having the same mentality and expect that you're going to have different results. Remember, you've been trying to grow all this time, but it is in vain. So I'm going to give you another definition of spiritual maturity that is going to reform how you see this, and it's going to start to propel the results. So I want us to think about this way. Paul teaches and he talks about the formation of Christ in us. Even the Bible teaches us in Romans 8, and it talks about how that we are conformed and predestined to be like Jesus Christ, to be conformed to the image of Jesus Christ. So the Bible there talks about Jesus Christ and his image being formed in us. So the purpose why we read the Bible should not be that we tick more, we tick out more days that today I read. It's not about, the intention is not to complete the Bible in a year, but the ultimate intention should be to grow out of reading the Bible. You see, we are living in a generation where if you read your daily devotion in the morning, you feel like, wow, I'm there, I'm right there. We feel like if someone is standing on the pulpit to preach, wow, they have grown. If someone is when they pray in tongues, wow, they are grown. But at the end of the day, I want to challenge you to think this way. After praying for 1 hour in tongues, how then do you live life for the rest of the 24 hours? Can you show us the difference and the impact that your Bible study has caused on the way that you think, the way that you act, the way that you desire, the way that your character? True spiritual growth is measured in the transformation that takes place in your life after you do the spiritual activities. So that's why the Bible teaches us that Christ must be formed in us. So as you are reading the Bible, the intention is not to tick out the day, but the intention is that as you're reading, Christ is being formed in you. As you're praying, Christ is being formed in you, so that this Christ can actually impact the rest of the 24 hours. Remember, life is not lived in a prayer room. Life is not lived in the church auditorium. Life is lived with crazy neighbors, with strangers, with enemies, with family, with workmates. And all those people, they test our growth. Growth is tested in areas where you need to act like you're grown. Yeah. So that is what we need to be thinking, the direction we need to be thinking, besides the reading of the Bible. Because Jesus rebuked the Pharisees and the Sadducees, and he said, these people, they sit in Moses' seat. They know all the scriptures. They can interpret all the prophecies. There is something wrong with them. They're not acting out what they teach. They're not acting out to what they know. So can we then say that the Pharisees were grown? Of course not. So let not our intention be to finish the Bible, in as much as that is good. But let the intention be that the little we know in the Bible has actually become part of our walk. It has reshaped and transformed our lives, the way that we live. That is real spiritual growth. It's not how much you take in, but how much you have been transformed by what you take in. So the Bible teaches us that we should come to that measure of the stature of Christ, such that when the environment tests you, you behave like Jesus. When there is enemies, you behave like Jesus. When there is temptations, you behave like Jesus. When there is, adversity, you behave like Jesus. True spiritual growth, understand it from today, that is not about how much you read the Bible, but how much you behave and act up the Bible. So if we understand that, we are then going to look beyond merely failing to read the Bible, merely failing to pray. We are going to look actually outside our prayer closets and say, okay, how do I live out these things? How do I get transformed? So if I can summarize the definition of spiritual growth for you today, that spiritual growth is the process through which Christ is formed in you. So I'm taking away the definition that spiritual growth is when you read the Bible for 2 hours and pray for 1 hour and worship and prophesy. That's not spiritual growth. Spiritual growth is when Christ is formed in you, so that there is transformation of your character, your thoughts, your desires, your actions, your feelings in the day-to-day activities of life. So tomorrow we are going to be unveiling. Why are you not growing? What makes you feel stuck? Why are you stuck actually? And why are many Christians stuck? Because at the end of the day, as you receive this, I'm praying that tomorrow you're going to actually have to help someone with the same knowledge that you have received. So let your mind be renewed from today forward. Spiritual growth is the formation of Christ in you, so that your behavior becomes like Jesus. Yeah, through all those disciplines, but it's about the formation of Christ in you. See you tomorrow on day 2.